Welcome back to another video. This is the first video of a series where we're heading from the northeast or right up to the northwest corner of Scotland to our favourite parts of Scotland. We're going to work our way down the beautiful west coast. However, we have a bit of an issue because Storm DARRAGH. We have got loads to update you on because we've had all sorts done to the van since we actually went on a road trip. Here's some of the modifications. Oh, it's minging. So we've got all the lights on the front. We've got lights there, and there. Leveling legs, leveling. And also, brand new suspension that I haven't really tried yet. I haven't really had a bit of a road trip on them, and I haven't used the leveling legs like in anger yet. We haven't been anywhere since we got them fitted. So we've got all that to update you about, which we'll tell you later in the video. And also, we've been creating some additional products which you may have seen. We've got the towel holder there. We've got the towel holder there. Also been working on one of them because I'm sick of the squeegee flying all over the place, so that just fits in there nicely. Also been making some shelves, and look at this little bad lad. Before we finish packing and head off, I just want to mention that our 2025 calendar is available. We got some of our favourite photos over the last year or so. You got nice little areas where you can write everything down. The amount of pre-orders that we've had for these mean a lot. We've only got 100 and most of them are gone. So if you want to pick up one of them before the new year for Christmas or anything else, the links to that is in the description. Again, if you're looking for the best road trip in Scotland, the best probably beaches in Scotland, the most iconic road trip in Scotland, or the best island in Scotland, or even most historic area in the borders technically, if you want them before Christmas, get your orders in before the 15th of December. That way we can actually make sure that they come to you in time, and if there's an issue we can get another one out to make sure they do arrive pre-Christmas. I also want to quickly mention, because I've been working with Darren, helping him create his first book. So that's Darren, the Urban Motorhome, and it's a book about how to wild camp in a motorhome. Just been helping him out because we've already done this, we've figured it all out, we're experienced in all of this book malarkey now. So I helped Darren with his cover design and the layout and all the rest of it, and just fulfillment and helping him do all that. So if you want to check out that book, there's a link to that in the description as well. You're packed, are you ready?
You make us travel in this weather.
It's windy, she's concerned, aren't you?
Aye, because it's unnecessary.
It's right, man.
We could just stay at home.
We can't.
We could. She's
concerned, but I've filled her with clearly zero confidence. We'll be right. Come on then, boys. So we've got really 3 different potential routes. One of them is up the A1, which is obviously on the coast. The other one looks like it's sort of up along the Carlisle and then up the A74. And then the other one is kind of in the middle. Now, the coastal ways seem to be the worst in terms of weather. So I don't know whether to do the sort of more like Kielder area up through Hexham and Northumberland. Well, that might be a little bit less exposed. All up the sort of Highlands looks sunny, clear skies, lovely. So we might get a bit of luck. And even if not, I'm not bothered because it's our last trip of the year. These will be our last 4 or 5 videos, however many we make of this year, because we want some time off. So sit back, relax, and let's get some miles done. Traffic already, we're not even at the Angel of the North just yet, but I'm not really surprised because the wind is a bit brutal. But yeah, that's cool. Bad boy there. Fingers crossed, the more rural we get, hopefully we can sort of tuck in the little hills a little bit and avoid some of the worst weather, if that's at all possible. Or it could be worse out there, I don't know. Danny's a bit nervous though, aren't you?
I think there was a previous time we tried to go in the Grand California. It was a nightmare.
That was Storm Arwen, I think.
I don't know why we left that.
We decided to go on a road trip up to the Cairngorms, which is just pretty much the windiest place in the UK generally anyway. It's actually, the Cairngorm Mountain has got the highest recorded wind speed. Jeez, this is... blowing the spray across this side of the road. Last time it was Storm Arwen and we decided to go on a road trip, which wasn't advisable, and then we couldn't really get back home because all the roads were closed and all the rest of it. But worst case, we didn't need to go all the way. I mean, obviously I want to get all the way up there, and the wind's only down the south, so we'll just chip away, take our time. There's no rush, we'll be right. And then, like I say, if it seems a little bit too sketchy, we'll just wait it out, see how far north we can get without getting tipped over by the wind. swear it's windy. We're not even out of Gateshead yet. We're just past the metro centre.
Yeah, I think we'll be turning back round, mate.
No, we're not. It is really windy. Jesus. Whoa! Sweet Lord, let's slow down a smidge. That motorhome's literally just nearly blew over. I'm not even joking. I think Danny may have been correct in this instance. And we're kind of stuck now anyway, but this is bad. Like, this is really bad. I legitimately thought that
Oh, look at somebody's.
exhaust in the middle of the road. I honestly thought that motorhome was going to get over there.
They must be taking a slip road off.
He'll be shaking like a shitting dog now after that, because that was a little bit leery, that was. And then watch that, I'll end up going off the road.
That is 60 mile/h winds. I think we should just go home.
Yeah, I know. This is a little bit ridiculous, if I'm honest. Probably wasn't the best idea. It is quite bad, to be fair. Like most blokes, I think you just think, we'll be alright. Probably wasn't the best decision I've made this one. We have done this before, where we fully ignored a storm warning and just went on a road trip anyway, and then regretted it, and had to turn back home and not actually be able to get home for hours. So it's not this isn't my first rodeo. But yeah, not the best decision I could have made, I don't think. I'm sweating, I'm like proper, it's intense, the wind's brutal. Hopefully anyone in Wales or in the sort of western part, I mean if it's this bad here and we ain't even getting the brunt of it, I hope all of you stay safe and don't have any major issues. And I think there's already about 50,000 people without power already in Wales because of the storm. So hopefully you all stay safe. We probably should have paid, or I should have paid more attention. Probably not left the house. There's warnings for a reason. And being a bloke, I ignored them warnings.
Look at that. Okay, why did you make us come out?
This road is carnage because it's blown across the road. So it's not so bad here because it's sheltered, but when it's exposed, it's brutal. So hopefully in 3 mile exactly now, we'll be on the A1 going with the direction that the wind's blowing. There's the police car, they'll stop. And then hopefully it'll be a bit easier. So Danny was trying to get in touch with the highways agency because he's put his lights on as well, so I think he's on his way for that. Because there's a full exhaust with a back box and everything just in the middle of the road. Someone's hit it because it's moved from where it was, or the wind at least, when we avoided it. But if there's 2 cars and you go to overtake and you don't see it, that could cause some huge damage. Oh, what a day!
We've been out of the house less than an hour.
And I feel like I've been away for a week. I'm knackered. I need to go back to bed now. It's only 11:30. 15 minutes from home, we'll be nearly home. What I'm going to do though, when we get home, I'm going to go over the leveling leg, show you how that works. I'm going to show you the air suspension. Obviously we kind of get away today and I need to obviously get some content out over this period, and he's going to be sitting in the house anyway, because hopefully, because the storm is brutal. So we'll get this done. I'll show you all the bits that we've been having done, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, would I be doing that? Towing a caravan in this, are you mental? We made it. We didn't die. No, it's been a little bit dramatic. However, I thought I'd show you how the hydraulic suspension works. So we've got HPC Hydraulics app. That's the system I got. If you haven't watched the video about all the modifications, there's one about that. So what I do, the engine is on. So in the app I've got different things. So I've got auto level 1, manual, retract, tank drain and user memory. I also have these. Now this light lights up when the legs are down, and there's a switch, and the reason I've had that switch fitted is because I've got an electric handbrake. The only other real way of wiring it is so that when the engine's on, they automatically retract and then you can drive away. But I don't want that, because if we're parked in the middle of nowhere and the electric's running low, I want to be able to sit with the engine on, and I might want to have the legs down at the same time. Having it that way wouldn't have worked. So what I've done is I got a switch wired in so that I can kind of trick the hydraulic legs to thinking that the handbrake's been taken off, and it'll lift them automatically if I want to just drive away and not have to mess on with that app. I've got the control panel in the cupboard, which is not what I'm going to use, so I can just press auto level 1 and the app, and see where it is. You hear the legs go down. It takes normally, I would say, about 90 seconds to get it all done. So now it's done one side, it's doing the other side now, and you can see that it's not level currently. You can see it's level kind of, it just needs to lift the front more. And there we go. Shall I get out and show you as well? It's like I was trying to just do it all from the van. I'll show you. So it's lifted that one up off the floor. That's off the floor completely. The back's actually not. So you can see the back, the wheels are still on the floor, but the legs are down. And again, that adds, what you would normally want to do really is you want to have it as low as you can so that it doesn't have to necessarily lift it much off the floor. And the reason being is then with the wheels plus the legs, it gives it even more stability. So I'm going to lower that down because I didn't need it to be up on that tonight. But that's how the legs work. Now, if I'll show you. Got so high. So now you can see that is up. What I do is if I switch that light on its way down now. And like I say, basically what that switch has done, Headley's tow bars fitted it, they fitted the air suspension, they've been absolutely spot on. So that's the van down now. What it'll do is it'll check each corner, so it'll check that they're all up properly, because it goes down and then the rams need to be lifted. This flashes, and then once it's done all four, then I'll switch the switch back off, and that is that. Now for the air suspension, I've stuck it down the side here. So I haven't fully decided where I'm going to have it yet, but this is the controller. So turn it on. So I have just kind of left it down the side for the time being and tucked the cable in. So you can see that I'm currently at 3.2 bar roughly on one side and 3 for the other. Press that. If I want to lower it down to say 0.4, the air suspension's pretty quick at lowering itself down. Obviously it's just letting air out, and the back end will drop down now. And then obviously when I want to increase it, I just put it. I can do it side by side, I can do both sides at the same time. I can only apologise that this video hasn't really had any travelling in it, really. We're back home. But because it's not something we need to do, I didn't think it was really a wise decision. The roads were bad. And again, because they're not that bad here, and because they weren't that bad on the way to where we were getting to on the A1, you think, it's fine. It's just, you see it on the news and you think now of it, and really we're not even in an area that's really heavily affected by it. Yes, there's an amber warning, but that's not so much as amber warnings for anything. However, I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was, and it's pointless putting other people at risk, putting us at risk, and the van, like, really for something that we don't have to go today. Like I say, if we only had this weekend, I think I probably would have still done it. We've got all next week still, so we'll be making more videos leading up to Christmas that we're going to shoot probably tomorrow, if we head off tomorrow, if not Monday. So I apologise that we didn't actually manage to get away, and I hope anyone that is away is safe and anyone at home is safe, because I didn't necessarily think it was quite as bad as what it actually is. So thanks for watching. I need to get all of this stuff and put it all back in the house now. And the funny thing is, I even brought a drone, like that little mini 3 drone. What's that gonna do in this wind? Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, where we hopefully actually leave the house for longer than 2 hours.